Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Our Earth formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago. First, there was just a swirling mass of dust and debris and rocks that came together to accrete in orbit around the Sun and eventually expanded to form Proto-Earth. Then this Proto-Earth, the first version of our planet, was impacted by a Mars-sized body called Theia. This impact partially melted and vaporized a part of the Earth, and material was ejected out into space and started swirling around the Earth. Eventually, all of this material came together to form the Earth-Moon system. Since then, the Earth has undergone tumultuous geological changes. We have had multiple supercontinents form and break off over millions of years. We've had extremely large-scale volcanic events that have caused planet-wide destruction. We have had formation of giant mountains, and we've had the entire recycling of the entire seafloor with lava on a regular basis. But all of this geological activity that is ultimately triggered by stuff that's happening in the Earth's core, do all of them happen spread out over time, or do they happen in periods of time? Turns out, a lot of the times there is clustering of geological activity, and this clustering seemingly is periodic. Some geologists are calling this the Earth's geological pulse, and these geologists think that it beats every 27 million years or so. In this video, let's discuss all about this geological pulse of the Earth. I'm Sandhya Ramesh, and this is Pure Science. This new study that was published this week came from New York University. It analyzed geological events over the past 260 million years or so, including about 89 well-understood large-scale events. These include things like mass extinctions, major events of oceanic anoxia, seafloor spreading rates, tectonic plate reorganization, flood basalt events that occur over large areas for long periods of time, global carbon cycle fluctuations, and much, much more. Now, research into finding patterns in Earth's geological activity is not new. We've done it for a while. However, each bit of research is limited by technology available at the time. Early work in such studies had limitations in geological dating techniques, but since then we've of course had drastic improvements in radioisotope dating techniques. In the 20s and 30s, in the early days of this research, many scientists believed that the Earth had a geological period of 30 million years. In the 1980s, we then thought that this was 33 million years, and by the mid-90s, we started thinking that this was somewhere between 26 and 30 million years. The new study that was published narrows this down to approximately 27.5 million years. For this study, scientists used newer data, specifically from mapping and dating at tectonic boundaries, from a database that was updated in 2018. Mapping these over time immediately brought out a very obvious pattern. It appeared that all these seemingly random geological events are correlated, and they come in pulses of about 27.5 million years. In the graph, we can see a clustering every time such a pulse occurs. In another study by the same authors last year, they also analyzed and noted that mass extinction events too in non-marine animals occurred every 27.5 million years or so. Previously, there was yet another paper in 2018 that came to the same conclusion, that the Earth's cycle is about 26 million years long. But in the new study, many events that were analyzed were able to be causally linked to one another, such as, say, a marine anoxic event that led to an extinction event. For example, the authors note that 7 out of the 12 marine level extinction events and 6 out of the 9 non-marine tetrapod or four-legged animal extinction episodes are linked to flood basalt volcanism. So the new data is a bit more cohesive. There could be many reasons why there are periodic spikes in geological activity. The most obvious one, of course, has to do with the dynamics of what happens under our feet, which is plate tectonics as well as mantle plumes. Plate tectonics operates through a global system of continental drift, seafloor spreading, and lithospheric subduction. These processes occur at boundaries between plates along mid-ocean ridges, subduction zones, and transform faults. These processes occur over geological time and leave a record in Earth's rocks that we can then study. Mantle plumes occur in the Earth's mantle, and it is caused by convection. We know convection, warm material rises up and cool material sinks down. That's why we have room heaters near the floor and air conditioners near the ceiling. In the mantle too, rock that is warmer rises up towards the surface, towards the crust, while rock that is colder sinks down into the mantle. At the core mantle boundary, superheated material forms and rises through the mantle. Now the mantle is not liquid like the core, it's not made of liquid rock, but over geological timescales, the rock in the mantle behaves like a liquid because of convection processes. So this superheated rock from the core mantle boundary, instead of just rising up as one mass of rock, rises up in bits and pieces, almost like hot bubbles, and over long periods of time. The crust is actually quite weak and brittle, and when this hot rock reaches up, it forms a volcanically sensitive region because there is constantly new hot rock rising up here. And this is likely what leads to volcanic hotspots or places like Hawaiian Islands, which are volcanically active. These mantle plumes occur independent of plate tectonics. The physical shape of a mantle plume is thought to be like a mushroom. It is anchored at the base with a long conduit, and at the top where the material disperses out, its head expands. So they're also called mushroom mantle plumes. When this plume hits the base of the lithosphere or the rock above, then the hot rock spreads out underneath the lithosphere. But it's still hot and wants to come out. So this then leads to flood basalt events, which is where slow volcanism causes lava to ooze out over large areas and form features like the Siberian traps or the Deccan traps. These also form in the ocean, and those are called oceanic plateaus. Yet another explanation for the geological pulse and the clustering of geological events could actually be related to Earth's motions in the solar system and the galaxy. Just to give a very obvious and necessary caveat here, this isn't in any way a support of astrology. This is speculation about things that the Earth is subject to as it moves through the solar system and the galaxy, things like maybe Milankovitch cycles, which some of us might be familiar with. These cycles are variations in the Earth's eccentricity, axial tilt, and precession over millions of years, which many climate deniers, of course, love to use as an explanation for global warming, but which do in fact affect atmospheric chemistry and could play a role in the Earth's pulse. The solar system itself also has a vertical oscillation period of about 32 million years, where it oscillates about the plane of the galaxy as it moves around. This can lead to changes in cosmic rays around the Earth or even trigger cometary showers, which can cause climatic changes. In fact, multiple other studies have also reported periodic cycles of about 26 to 37 million years for impact craters. There are slight changes in these numbers. We can see that some things have a cycle of about 26 to 27.5 million years, while some other things have a period of about 32 to 37 million years. The authors speculate that as our tech improves and we re-evaluate all of our dating methods and methodologies, these ranges will converge and everything is causally linked. Another important caveat, of course, is that the authors do not claim that geological events happening in succession or things that we can observe are necessarily linked. All of this is still a theory that some geologists accept. Some geologists propose that large-scale events could be linked and happen in time periods, while others say that all of this could just be a coincidence and all of these events are random. We'll know the truth over the next few years and decades of work. However, when we read about patterns like this, it is important to remember that any connection or causality can be drawn only from data at geological timescale. Ultimately, when it comes to what is happening under the ground below our feet, nothing really works at human timescales.